Hare Krishna. Welcome back. So, I didn't realize that the ID has changed. Anyway, everything is good. Yeah. Okay, let's do the invocation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nigamakalpatarorgalitam phalam sukamkat amrita davasamyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam mughraghorasika bhuvavakaha Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udhirayet Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki Om Jnanatimandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadadi Sapadantikam Vandeyaham Shri Gurun Sri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakhagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parajana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sakhagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhye Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschaityadeshatarine Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Wakam Karoti Vachalam Pangalangayate Grimikrupadamaham Mande Shri Guru Nitarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Mishram Kathanchana Smrite Yasmin Dushkaram Sukram Bhavet Smrite Pritam Syat Sri Chaitanyam Namamitam. Hare Krishna. So yesterday we were discussing about the Virat Rupa, and then we were also discussing something about the difference between the Ekpad Vibhuti and the Tripad Vibhuti. So we started the discussion. So we were in verse 19. Now we have to continue from verse 20. This is what I remember. So we'll continue with verse 20. Let's see. Go forward and see what we get. Okay. So you can see the screen. You can read the verse 20 purport.
Verse 20 or translation?
Verse 20 purport, no, I think. Is it not? We read up to what? 19 translation. 19 we read the purport, right? Yesterday.
Yes, Ravi.
So up to what we read the translation? Up to 19 only we read the translation. Okay. Okay, let's read the translation. Oh, we read translation of 20. Okay, please read the purport.
So purport?
Yes, read the purport.
Text 20 purport. The climax of the system of Varnashrama Dharma or the Sanatana Dharma is clearly expressed here in this particular verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. The highest benefit that can be awarded to a human being is to train him to be detached from sex life, particularly because it is only due to sex indulgence that the conditioned life of material existence continues birth after birth. Human civilization in which there is no control of sex life is a fourth-class civilization because In such an atmosphere, there is no liberation of the soul. Engaged in the material body. But as long as the bodily attachment for sensual enjoyment is encouraged, the individual spirit soul is forced to continue the repetition of birth and death on account of the material body, which is compared to garments subjected to the law of deterioration. A householder attached to family life can easily give up such a life of sex indulgence if he has been trained in the principles of the life of brahmachari. A householder is recommended to quit home at the end of 50 years and live a life in the forest, then being fully detached from family affection. He may accept the order of renunciation as a sannyasi, fully engaged in the service of the Lord. And this process is in the highest degree is recommended here in the Srimad Bhagavatam with clear perception of ideal perfection, although basically there is no difference between the process of Buddhists, Shankarites and Vaishnavites. The householders and persons who have deliberately broken the vow of celibacy cannot enter into the kingdom of deathlessness. The vanaprasthas, or those retired for family life, and the sannyasis, or the renounced persons, cannot break the vow of celibacy if they want success in the process. The best thing is to attain the highest perfection of deathlessness as soon as the human form of life is attained. Otherwise, the whole policy of human life will prove to be a total failure. For a transcendentalist, therefore, who at all wants to be promoted to the kingdom beyond material miseries, it is worse than suicide to deliberately indulge in sex life, especially in the renounced order of life. Sex life in the renounced order of life is the most perverted form of religious life, and such a misguided person can only be saved if, by chance, he meets a pure devotee.
Yeah, so Prabhupada actually makes a very wonderful opening statement here. He says that the Varnashrama Dharma has a climax. What is the climax of Varnashrama Dharma? That simply utilize this body to go back home, back to Godhead. This is the climax of Varnashrama Dharma. That Varnashrama Dharma is simply meant for this. Atapum vidvijasheshta Varnashrama Bhagashaha Swanishtitasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. One should simply try to please Krishna using the principles of Varnashram. Of course, in ISKCON, there's a lot of discussion about Varnashram, whether Varnashram is possible, not possible, how to implement Varnashram, or whether to implement Varnashram. Some people say that if you are to implement Varnashram, you should go to village. In city, Varnashram is not possible. Some people think that Varnashram means farm community. So there are different ideas of what is Varnashram and what is not Varnashram in ISKCON. Some people think that Varnashram is too vexing a subject matter, so we cannot discuss it. We should just leave it aside. So there are different ideas are there. But certain principles are very important to understand. Very important to understand. Like Prabhupada is saying that what is the importance of brahmachari training? So for that, we need to understand what is basically brahmachari life. The brahmachari life means that to train a boy from 5 years to 20 years to live without kama karma. This is brahmachari training, in short. That there are different types of duty. There are 3 types of duty. Prabhupada actually explains in the purport to Karmanyavadikaraste verse in Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada explains that there are 3 types of duties. There is daily duty, there is emergency duty, and then there is desired duty. So daily duty means nitya karma, and emergency duty means naimitika karma, and desired duty means kama karma. This is the Sanskrit equivalent of this. Daily duty means, see, this daily duty and emergency duty, nitya and naimitika, if you don't do, you incur sin. Okay. Like for example, every day a person is supposed to take bath twice. And if you don't take bath, you incur sin. It's not like as simple as that. Okay, today I don't feel like taking bath, so I don't take bath. No, if you don't take bath, you incur sin. A person is supposed to follow the rules of Saucham according to his situation. Like for example, if it's a Brahmana, then he should follow the rules of Saucham of a Brahmana. If he doesn't do that, he incurs sin. So this is not like very simple that, okay, I can do whatever I want, but it's all everything is all right. It's not like that. So daily duties are very strict, like getting in the morning, doing all the saucha karma, and then taking bath, and then worshipping the deity. Like in case of Grahastha, then he has to Panchamahayajna, and if he doesn't do Panchamahayajna, then he can sin. So everything is, the daily duties are fixed, and you cannot avoid the daily duty. You have to do it. You cannot avoid. Okay. And the emergency duty means that when the time to do that particular duty comes, this is called naimitika. Nimitta means the reason. The reason for doing that particular duty appear, you have to do that duty. You can't postpone it anymore. That is naimitika karma. Like for example, if Ekadashi comes, anyway, immediately you are supposed to fast. You can't say, no, today I am not in a mood to fast. I will fast after 4 days. Today is not good mood. I am not having good mood. Anyway, once in 15 days I have to fast. So I'll fast after 4 days. Then I'll try to calculate 15 days from there, and then I'll try to fast. No, you cannot do like that. The moment it is Ekadashi, then you have to immediately fast. This is called naimitika. Like a child is born, immediately you have to do jata karma. You cannot say, no, we'll keep the umbilical cord, we'll cut later. Or you cannot say that I will not give name for the child, and then child grow up for, and then 10 years he will choose his own name. You can't do things like that. You have to do what you have to do the moment the reason for doing it appears. This is called naimitika. Naimitika karma. You can't avoid. Avoiding nitya karma means you incur sin. Avoiding naimitika karma means we incur sin. So these are unavoidable. But there is one karma called kama karma. The desired duty. If you want, you can do it. If you don't want, you need not do it. But if you do it, then if you don't do it, there is no sin. But if you try to do it, what will happen is that it will add its own nitya karma and naimitika karma to your life. This is what it will do. Like for example, going to Swarga is not compulsory. It is not a sin if you don't plan to go to Swarga. But you can plan to go to Swarga. That is called kama karma. But the moment you plan to go to Swarga, then you have to accept the daily duties and the emergency duties which have to be performed to go to Swarga. Okay, this is the problem. I will probably give a more modern example, because Swarga and all people, devotees will say, okay, I don't want to go to Swarga, forget it. Okay, I'll give a more modern example. There is no Vedic injunction to keep a mobile phone. Okay, if you want to keep a mobile phone, you can keep. There is no sin in keeping a mobile phone. Vedic injunction is not saying keeping mobile phone is sin. It's not saying that. But the moment you want to keep a mobile phone, then there is some nitya karma which comes with the mobile phone. What is that? People will call you and ask you, hello, how are you? And you are expected to pick that mobile phone because you have the mobile phone. Everybody has your mobile number. They call you. And if you don't pick up the phone, they become very upset with you. You're having mobile, we are calling you, you're not picking up. This becomes your nitya karma, right? Answer people. Oh, hello, how are you? I am very good. You are very good. And then you also try to call some people. Then what is your naimitika karma? That when the charge is finished, then you have to charge the phone. This is naimitika karma. And when the SIM card, the money is over, you have to charge money in this. This is naimitika karma. And if the mobile phone is repaired, you have to take it to shop and then get it repaired. This is naimitika karma. But what happens? All this takes time from you. That if you're not without mobile, you're not without all these duties, all these daily duties, and you have to earn more for maintaining that mobile. If you're earning 100 rupees and the mobile is going to cost you like 20 rupees more, then you have to work extra to earn that 20 rupees. Otherwise, mobile is not going to come free for you. And then you have to work extra to maintain that mobile phone, put money in that, charge it, repair it, upgrade it, whatever it is. Now, if you upgrade to smartphone, this is another kama karma. Because now you will add WhatsApp to it, you will add internet to it, you will add Facebook to it, and everything takes time. Everything takes time. Everything takes time. So, kama karma, if you accept, kama karma will actually take away some time from your 24 hours, because each kama karma will add some nitya karma and naimitika karma in your life. This is very clear. You understand this, how it works? This is Vedic time management. People teach time management. No, like if you go to some corporate seminar and all, they will teach time management. They will say that you have to divide all the activities in 4 quadrants: urgent and important, important but not urgent, then not important, not urgent, not important, urgent. Like that, you have to divide all the activity into 4 quadrants, and you have to do this activity first, that activity first. All this they will tell, and then like if you do all this, you can become time manager. This is all nonsense. What is actual time management is Vedic time management. Where your time goes, you cannot avoid Nitya Karma, you cannot avoid Naimittika Karma. Your time goes when you accept Kamya Karma. Because that's a choice. You accept it, your time will go. Because that Kamya Karma will add some Nitya Karma and Naimittika Karma in your life. Suppose you are having a motorbike, you want to buy a car. This is Kamya Karma. Then you have to work for the car. You have to maintain the car. You have to live a lifestyle which is according to the car. So then 24 hours of your time from motorbike to car, you are thinking it is upgrade, but for your time, it is a downgrade because more time will go instead of motorbike to car. From cycle to motorbike, again, more time will go. You are thinking actually you are saving time, but actually you are not saving time. Actually, you are not saving time. So therefore, Vedic system says brahmachari life means 0 Kamya Karma. Very simple. This is brahmachari training. That you go to Gurukula, you live in the house of the teacher, and you do 0 Kamya Karma. Like when my son, he was in Dubai, he had I don't know, maybe 20 dress, 30 dress. And he and his mother will fight like anything when they want to go out, because he will say, I will wear this combination. Then his mother will say, no, you have to wear this combination. Then he will take some combinations. He will say, no, this doesn't look good for you. Then he will say, what is your problem? I am wearing all this. Some big Mahabharata war will take place on what to wear and what not to wear. But he joined Gurukul. No problem. Only 1 dhoti, 2 dhoti only. Same 2 white dhoti, same 2 white chadar. There is no dispute at all. It's the same white dhoti, white chadar. You wash this, you try this, you wear this. That's it. This is brahmachari life. No Kamya Karma. 0 Kamya Karma. So then what happens? You have entire time to study Vedic literature. You have entire time to study Bhagavatam. You have entire time to study Bhagavad Gita. You have entire time to study Prabhupada books. You are not disturbed. Because you are doing minimal things to do your life. This is brahmachari life. This is what Prabhupada says. When Prabhupada says a person has to be trained in brahmachari life, this is what Prabhupada is meaning when he's saying brahmachari life. So if he's trained like that for 20 years, he lives like this, even if he gets married, because the biggest Kamya Karma a man can do is to get married. For a woman, it is not Kamya Karma. For a woman, it is duty. She has to get married. For her, it is Naimittika Karma. It is not Kamya. Marriage is Kamya Karma for man. For woman, it is Naimittika Karma. When she becomes of marriageable age, immediately she should get married. Of course, if you tell these things, woman will throw stones at us. No, it's okay. But Shastra is saying like that. What to do? Shastra is saying, when a woman comes to marriageable age, then immediately she has to get married. That is Naimittika. And if she doesn't get married, then the parents get some reaction for it. But of course, we should not say these things now. People get upset about these things. Anyway, this is reality. Whether you're upset or not upset, is reality. Okay. But the point is that for a man, marriage is biggest Kamya Karma, because then he will have his family, he will have facilities, he will have so many things. He need not have it. He can just be Naishtika Brahmachari. He can just go back home, back to Godhead by taking sannyas, Brahmachari to sannyas, sannyas to back home, back to Godhead. It's possible. For him, it is possible. But in Kali Yuga, it's very difficult. Extremely difficult. Kali Yuga is not for sannyas. In Shastra itself says Kali Yuga, not for sannyas. Like Prabhupada said that his Guru Maharaj, he wanted to make an army of sannyasis. Prabhupada said that I wanted to make an army of grahasthas. So because grahastha life is more safe in Kali Yuga. You get married, you have children, live a simple life. You try to chant Hare Krishna, go back, come back to God. It works nicely. So for that, brahmachari training is required because the man has been trained for 15 years, 20 years to live simple life with zero kama karma. So when he brings a woman inside, then he is able to nicely guide her and control her, guide her, give her some nice intelligence, tell her that we should live simple life, simple living, high thinking. We should do. And then both of them have a lot of time to practice Krishna consciousness, go back home, back to God. So this is the ideal Brahminical life. Of course, Kshatriyas don't live like this. Kshatriyas live a different life because Kshatriyas, by nature, they actually have to project power. They have to project influence. So then they need a more opulent lifestyle, which is visibly opulent. Vaishyas also are very opulent, but they are not visibly opulent. Their opulence is hidden. Vaishyas don't want to show their opulence. Sometimes in previous times, the Vaishyas are more rich than the king, but their opulence is not shown. Their opulence is hidden. That is what Vaishyas should be. Even 50, 60 years back, traditionally, Indian Vaishyas were like that. Now only the Vaishyas have become very flamboyant because they have got all the Shudra quality. They got mixed with Shudra quality. Shudras are very flamboyant. There's Kshatriyas are very flamboyant. Shudras are very flamboyant. The Vaishyas and Brahmanas, very simple. Very, very simple. You can't make out how much money he has. Even now in Bengal, that culture is still there. You see some person, he's doing some small shop, he's doing some business, you think that he's some simple guy. And then you see, if you go closely with him and if you see, and then you'll see how much money he has got. The guy has got so much money and he has so much riches, but it looks quite simple. You can't make out from his external appearance. Anyway, so the point is that when there is brahmachari training, then naturally grahastha life becomes simple, and then taking vanaprastha becomes practical. Otherwise, to take vanaprastha means it's like pulling the tooth out of the person. They're very difficult to take vanaprastha because a person from beginning, he has no training. So how he will take vanaprastha? So therefore, brahmachari training is important. And then grahastha life. Then vanaprastha. Vanaprastha is not like a choice. Only for Shudra, vanaprastha is choice. If a person is Shudra, then for him vanaprastha is choice. But for Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, vanaprastha is not a choice. They have to take vanaprastha. And in ISKCON, Prabhupada wanted all of us to be Brahmanas. So that means in ISKCON, more or less vanaprastha is compulsory for everybody. At the age of 50, one should think of vanaprastha. Now, there is no vana. Where will you go prastha? There is no vana for going prastha. There is no vana prastha. You can say that there is no forest. Yeah, there's a very nice purport in 3rd canto. You will read when Kardama goes to vanaprastha. Prabhupada writes a very nice purport. Prabhupada says vanaprastha is compulsory for everyone. This is how the purport starts. Vanaprastha is compulsory for everyone. Then after 2 paragraphs, Prabhupada is writing, actually one need not go to the forest. So going to forest is compulsory for everyone. This is how the purport starts. After 2 paragraphs, Prabhupada says, actually one need not go to forest. So why? Because in between these 2 paragraphs, Prabhupada actually explains what is his expectation from his vanaprasthas. Prabhupada's expectation from his vanaprasthas is that they will dedicate themselves full time to the movement. They will, if they have to do some activity for maintaining their body, it will be minimal. Means that if they have to earn some money, etc., it will be minimal. Or if they already saved up, then they will just live from that saving, and then they will travel and preach. They will go to holy places. They will hear Krishna Katha. They will travel and preach, and they will dedicate themselves to some service of the movement. No sex life between husband and wife. Here also Prabhupada says in the purport, vanaprastha, sannyasi, brahmachari, they cannot have sex life. No sex life between husband and wife. No question of the woman sitting in the house and telling, I am the queen of the house. I will keep the key with me only, and then Bahu will come and press my leg. No question of all these things. The son if there's a son, he gets married, hand over all the property, all the management to the son and daughter-in-law, and just sit and read Bhagavatam. This is vanaprastha life. And go to temple, do some service. This is Vanaprastha life. This is what Prabhupada wants from us. Of course, sannyasis, we know that renounced order of life. Little bit confusion is there with Vanaprastha because there's no proper proper Vanaprastha ashram in ISKCON. People are a little confused what to do with Vanaprastha, etc. But Prabhupada's instructions are quite clear. So the whole program of Varnashram is to come out of sex life. That is the whole program of Varnashram. So therefore, to actually succeed in the human form of life, one should try to come out of sex life. That's the whole point. Because as long as we are attached to the sex life, we cannot become successful in Krishna consciousness. So therefore, this is Varnashram. This is very basic Varnashram, and this can be implemented anywhere. You are in city, you are in village, you are in moon, Mars, wherever you are, you can implement this. That doesn't matter. This is basic, simple Varnashram. That to understand brahmachari life means to live without kama karma. To understand grahastha life means to live simple living, high thinking, get married, have some children, give them Krishna conscious atmosphere so that they can try to become devotees. If you have given them Krishna conscious atmosphere, they become devotees, they don't become devotees, this is all not your problem. Your job is done. You have given them Krishna conscious atmosphere. Then daughter means get married, son means give him some way of earning some money. Then as a grahastha, your duty is over. That's it. We don't have to think any more than this. Then after that, just do some full-time service for the movement. What is there, with that try to live. And then if someone may take sannyas, someone may not take sannyas, this is up to the movement and up to them. But at least brahmachari, grahastha, vanaprastha. This should be clear. So this is Varnashram. This is Varnashram. And this can be followed anywhere and everywhere. It doesn't require to be in village. You can follow this in Delhi. You can follow this anywhere. You can follow this. There's no problem. And also basic system of living. Like, grahastha means you should give charity. Brahmachari means you should be surrendered to the movement. Vanaprastha means that you should take some austerity. This is all anywhere you can do. Anywhere you can. It's not like needed some specific arrangement is needed. It's not okay. Brahmana means you should live simple. Patana, yajana, yajana, dana, pratigraha. This is what you should do. Brahmana means. Kshatriya means that you should listen to Brahmana. And then you should do your duty. Vaishya means that you should actually work with nature. This is Vaishya's job. You should work with nature. Shudra means you should have your skill. Whatever skill you have, you should utilize the skill for Krishna's service. Shudra. So this is all can be practiced anywhere. It doesn't have to be very, very specific requirement for this. So if you practice like this, that means you are practicing Varnashram. And why Varnashram is required? Basically, Varnashram is required for the first point is if you have Varnashram, you will not do any sin. This is the first basic simple point. Like for example, Prabhupada says that sex life in renounced order of life is the most perverse form of religious life. Now, ISKCON has had problems with this. ISKCON has always had some time or other. ISKCON always has some problem with this because somebody in some renounced order of life he gets entangled in sex life, and then it becomes a scandal. Then there is so much of heartbreak and so much of bad blood flow, so many criticism that this. Why? Because basic principle of Varnashram they don't follow. A sannyasi has got nothing to do with women. That's it, as simple as that. Sannyasi should not be alone with women. He should not open his heart to women. He should not try to work with women. He should not do all these things. If this principle is followed, then 99% of all the historic mishap which has happened in ISKCON with sannyasis, it will not happen. Whenever you see some mishap has happened, always some sannyasi has been with women. And that also not for short time, but for long time. Unsupervised contact with women and a sannyasi, this is very bad. Because sannyasis are generally very intelligent and women are generally very emotional. This is a very bad combination because then women tend to get attracted to that intelligent sannyasi and then it all becomes very bad. So that is the reason why Varnashram, the basic principle of Varnashram, Prabhupada said that we all want Varnashram. Why? Because Prabhupada saw that his disciples are doing sin. they are divorcing, they are getting remarried, they are leaving their wife and going, leaving their husband and going. They are actually doing sin. Even though they are practicing Krishna consciousness, they are doing sin. So then he said, hey, you guys require Varnashram. Why? Because the first purpose of Varnashram is that if you follow the rules and regulation of Varnashram, very difficult to do sin. Very, very difficult to do sin. Because Varnashram would not allow you to do sin. The rules and regulation of Varnashram will not allow you to do sin. Brahmachari means it will not allow you to think about a woman. The moment you start thinking about woman, you show some independent mentality, then Varnashram will not allow you to be Brahmachari. Then they'll say, okay, go get married, finished. So if you don't surrender to the moment, you have to surrender to your wife. Somewhere you have to surrender. And then okay, then after that, live a life, with your wife and, whatever it is, try to be honest, live a life with one woman, one man, be satisfied, have some children. So take that responsibility. That is the price you pay for independence. That's the price you pay for independence. You have to take responsibility. That's Varnashram. That's Varnashram. You want to be independent, you pay the price for it. You have to be responsible. Then at the right time, hand over all the responsibility. So everything is fixed. Everything is structured. Everything is structured. Everything is fixed. Nowadays, in modern world, people like to use the word SOP, standard operating procedure. Everybody likes to use these words, SOP. So Varnashram is the oldest SOP. Standard operating procedure for human life. Everything is laid out. Everything is clear. Everything is fixed. You can't go this way, that way. So you will not do sin. The basic principle of having Varnashram is to stop people from doing sin. That's it. Then you are peaceful. Tesam tvantagatam papam. That is done. Then what is left? Jananam punya karmanam. So you live simple life. You will be able to do your practice your Krishna consciousness. Te dvanda moha nirmukta. Naturally, you will become free from dvanda and moha, from illusion and duality. Bhajante mam dridhavrutaha. You can just get fixed up in Krishna consciousness. So that is the climax of Varnashram. Yes, Ras Ramakrishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have a question to ask.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, like you told that about Kavya Karma. So for a brahmachari, for a boy basically, there is a Kavya Karma whether he should marry or not. But for a girl, it is compulsory to get married when she reaches the marriageable age.
Correct.
So, Prabhuji, I have seen that there are some girls who join ISKCON before their marriageable age.
Yeah.
And they get so much engaged, engrossed in the devotional service that they don't want to get married at all. They just want to serve Krishna and devotees like that. So why is this compulsion over the girls only that they should also go for marriage and they should get entangled again in the married life? Why only a boy is free? Why not the woman? Why not the girls?
Yeah, okay, it's a nice question, because normally in modern world we are thinking why boy and girl is same. Why to treat the boy same as the girl? Why to treat the girl same as the boy? Why to actually differentiate between them? Shastra doesn't know what it's doing. So generally this kind of idea is there. It is true, but there is reason for it. Okay, what is the reason for it? The reason for it is that with every kind of body, everyone should be given the best atmosphere to practice Krishna consciousness. That is the whole purpose of Shastra. Whatever body you have, whether you have male body or female body, doesn't matter. Any body, you should actually get the best atmosphere to practice Krishna consciousness. Okay, this is how Shastra looks at it. Okay. So there is, the man and woman are equal in the sense that man also can get Krishna prema, woman also can get Krishna prema. In that sense, they are equal. Just because you are a woman, it is not that you cannot get Krishna prema. That and all is not there. Okay. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Striyo Vaisyas Tata Shuddhas Tepi Yanti Param Gati. Okay. So everybody is, Krishna prema is everybody's birthright. Woman also can go back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime. Man also can go back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime. So there is no differentiation between them from that perspective. But each of them have a body. Okay. The body is a combination of gross body and subtle body. Okay. What is externally, what is seen as gross body? Internally, what they have as mind, intelligence, false ego is subtle body. So for each gross body and subtle body, the nature is different. The woman's nature is different from man's nature. They are not of same nature, even though modern people have some difficulty in agreeing to this. But if you actually see, woman's nature is different from man's nature. So therefore, for a woman, it is important that she is actually protected. So when she is protected and when she has a good atmosphere where she need not worry about who is protecting her and she is carefree, then she can easily practice devotional service. But when a woman is not married, then she is not protected. Then she is always being subjected to various types of tension. Because many unscrupulous men, they are always trying to give her some sort of trouble. And because they are giving to some sort of trouble, she is always disturbed also. So therefore, she is unable to practice her Krishna consciousness very nicely when compared to a woman who is married and she is well protected. When compared to her and a woman who is not married, who is not protected, she has to struggle a lot. She has to struggle a lot. Like, sometimes women get married and the husband leaves and goes and they become single mother. You see how much they struggle. And even women who are not married, they say, oh, I don't want to get married. Okay. Now, if you actually talk to them nicely, try to understand why they don't want to get married, you'll find some dissatisfaction in their life. You'll find something which is something which is bothering them, some dissatisfaction will be there. So the point is that when a woman is married and she has a good husband, she is most free to practice her Krishna consciousness. So therefore, it is mentioned that woman should get married. But for a man, as long as he is surrendered to Guru, and if he is able to do what the spiritual master is saying, and he does not have attraction for opposite sex, there is no need for him to get married. But for a woman, attraction of opposite sex is always existing because of the biological nature of her body, because she is meant to produce progeny. So therefore, she has that tendency to get attracted to opposite sex. And we cannot say, no, modern women, they are all very independent, so they are like this. But you see that at least now, recently, the last 2 months, you see how many women have been murdered by their live-in partners. This is the reality that when the institution of marriage is compromised, women's safety is compromised. It's a very simple, straightforward reality. Okay. But modern woman also doesn't want to accept it. Modern men don't want women to accept it. Why they don't want women to accept it? Because woman accepts it, then she will actually be protected. She will not be available for them to enjoy. So the modern men who are rascals, they don't want the woman to accept the idea that women should be protected. They are saying, oh, why you should be protected? You are equal. You come and join with us. You don't fall for this patriarchal idea of protection of women. You are a great personality. You come and join with us. Why that rascal is saying like that? Because he is thinking she will come to the street and I will enjoy her. This is Varnashankara mentality. This is what Arjuna is saying. Jayate Varnashankaraha. These men will become woman hunters. They will become rascals. They will simply go to hell. And in the process, they will take women also to hell. So because it is like this, then the woman needs to be protected. That's why for women, according to Shastra, it's best to get married. But man has to be responsible. See, what happens is that women are suffering, but who is responsible for it? Man is responsible for it. Why? Man is the protector. He is the natural protector. And that fellow has become untrained. He has become Varnashankara. So therefore, woman is suffering. So she is thinking better not to get married, why to get married with this man, and then, he will run away, and then I have to suffer. But the parents have to take responsibility. When the parents are not devotees, then the seniors have to take responsibility. They should take some responsibility for women, and they should actually try to find some good husband for the woman according to her inclination. This is the duty. It's the duty, because sometimes parents are not devotees. So they are not interested in getting their daughters married. They are very happy. Okay, she's earning, she's giving money, and let us enjoy her money till we live, and then we'll die. Then whatever happens to her, what we are bothered. Parents are also like that. Kali Yuga parents are also like that. Okay. So then the senior devotees who are there, who are married, who are actually having stable grahastha life, they should take responsibility. They should try to find some good boy for the girl, good girl for the boy, get them married, and make sure that they are living a stable life, giving them some support and guidance, and make them Krishna conscious. This all should do. Society means all these things should be done. Makes sense?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Today, women take pride in the fact they are equal to men. It's okay. That's not their fault also, in one sense, because man has taught her like this. Because as I explained that men are unscrupulous in Kali Yuga. So therefore, they find the best way to exploit women. See how all this women's equality, from where it came. It actually came from the Second World War. This whole thing started somewhere around that time. This women's equality started somewhere around that time when the Industrial Revolution and Second World War came. As long as Industrial Revolution was not there, traditional family roles were never disturbed. When the Industrial Revolution happened, then what happened was that the world started producing things which is not required for human life. This is what industry is doing. Industry is producing things which is not required for human life, and making us believe that it is actually required. If it is not there, you will die. Now, can anybody imagine now that we can live without mobile phone? Nobody can imagine. People will say, oh, if mobile phone is there, not the communication will break down, some emergency, what will happen? People will die. This will happen. I got my first mobile phone when I was 30 years old. And I was alive till 30 years old without mobile phone. And I did not die. I had a good childhood. We communicated very well with each other. I had a lot of friends still from my childhood days. But now we are made to believe that if you don't have phone, you will die. There's no life without phone. And there's one company who made a phone called iPhone. Means that you have become now phone. What is iPhone? iPhone means I have become phone. Very clever naming of a phone. iPhone, iPad, iMac. So you have become phone, you have become pad, you have become computer. Your identity has become that device. It's not some random naming. Millions of dollars goes into how to name these things. Research or psychological research. How to name these things. And how to present these things in such a way that you start thinking, oh, without this device, I cannot live. So this started with the whole thing about women's equality started with Industrial Revolution, because the industry started producing and dumping things. Consumerism started. Industry started producing and dumping things which we don't require. Now it has to be sold. You have gutted the market with things which you don't require. Now it has to be sold. So how to sell it? Then you start thinking how to increase the buying power. Then you start thinking, oh, this woman is sitting at home. She is satisfied. The man is earning a little bit. She is satisfied with that. And then she is also saving some money from that. Whoa, who requires this? We don't require this. Bring all of them into debt. Give them a credit card. Bring all of them into debt. And tell the woman, you are stupid. You are sitting at home. You are useless. You are jobless. You go to. I asked a woman. I was in another country recently. I asked a woman, what are you doing? She said, I am not doing anything. I said, how is it possible for you not to do anything? You have to do something, no? What are you doing? She said, I am at home. I am simply at home. So I asked her, that do you get up from morning and evening, you just sit in the chair from the home, you don't do anything? She said, no, I cook for my husband, I cook for my children, I do so many things. I said, Arey, why don't you tell? What are you doing? I am running the house. Why don't you tell so proudly? I am running my house. She has been trained to say, I am not doing anything. In spite of the fact that she is working more than the man. That woman is trying to say that I am not doing anything. She feels shy to say that I am not doing anything. And she feels useless because she is not doing anything. And the woman who is going and bringing some 200 rupees or 300 rupees or 2000 rupees or 3000 rupees, she says, I am working. What nonsense. So the point is, Bhagavatam is telling that you take your role, whatever is your role, you take your role, be happy with that. And then utilize your time for Krishna consciousness. Why are you complicating your life? This is the point. It's a very important point. But modern world doesn't want you to do that. They don't want you to be satisfied. They want you to be envious. There was one TV, now it is not there. Previously there was one TV. When I was a small boy, there was one TV. The advertisement it said that neighbors envy, owners pride. So either you have to be envious or you have to be proud. You cannot be satisfied. This is consumerism. And because of consumerism, woman was forced to come to work because that's how industry would sell their product, which they don't want. So this is all simply propaganda. All simply propaganda. Why this propaganda is required? So that life can be complicated more and more. People can get dissatisfied. Now, I was called to this country mainly. I went to the country. I was called to this country mainly because divorces are increasing amongst devotees. I was told, please do some training for devotees. Please make them understand that they should not divorce. So I went to this country and I spoke to people. We did training classes there. But then later I realized that the way they are living, they have to divorce. There is no choice for them. There is no choice for them. They have to divorce. The man is working 12 hours, 14 hours. The woman is working 12 hours, 14 hours. Now, according to Bhagavatam, it is said, the wife should speak very sweetly to the husband. Okay. Take this simple point. Okay. It says, wife should speak sweetly to the husband. Okay. Now, when it is applicable when the wife is at home, she is able to take care of the home. She doesn't have the tension of going to office and then, doing the office work and coming back. She is home. She is doing her duty at home. She is happy doing her duty. And the man goes out and he is working. He is doing so many things. He is facing so many things. He comes home frustrated. So the wife has already prepared everything for him to receive him. And when he comes, he speaks sweetly to her. It's possible for her to speak sweetly. Now, you consider a situation, man is working for 12 hours, woman is working for 12 hours. Now, man is coming after facing so much tension from office to home. Woman is also coming after facing so much tension from office to home. Now, who will speak sweetly to whom? Whose responsibility to speak sweetly to whom? If the man says, oh, you are my wife, you should speak very sweetly to me, she will tell, go jump in Ganga. Because I am also having office, I am also having tension. Why don't you speak sweetly to me? You fellow, you only want my money, you don't want to speak sweetly to me, you speak sweetly to me. It's natural. It's natural. So, this idea that women and men are equal directly puts the woman at inferior position because you try to equal something which is superior to you. Vedic system is not accepting this idea. Vedic system is saying woman by her nature is independently glorious, man by his nature is independently glorious. They are complementary to each other. When they come together to do their respective duties, together they are glorious. This is Vedic system. It allows woman to be woman, it allows man to be man, and it allows them to come together as a complementary pair. That is why woman in Vedic systems is called Ardhangini. She comes and completes the missing half of the man. She is not coming to be the man. The man is missing something, she comes to complete that. The woman is missing something, the man comes to complete that. So that's why she becomes Ardhangini. The other half, or the better half, whatever it is. And she is called Griha Lakshmi. Why she is called Griha Lakshmi? She is called Griha Lakshmi not to bring money to Griha. She is called Griha Lakshmi because whatever money comes, she can actually manage it very nicely in such a way that the family flourishes. That's why she is called Griha Lakshmi. But of course, this training needs to be given. If you ask any woman that if you get a qualified person, will you get married to her? They don't have objection to it. They may initially object, but if you talk to them for some time and if you make them understand, then they will accept. It's not a problem. It's not such a big deal. Okay. Let's read.
And because the living entity is partial cognizant and he is therefore sometimes forgetful of his own identity, this forgetfulness of is specially manifested in the field of Ekpada Vibhuti of the Lord or in the material world, but in Tripada Vibhuti, fields of action, or in the spiritual world, there is no forgetfulness by the living entity who are free from all kinds of contamination resulting from the forgetful state of existence. They are different stage of avidya and they are called dharma, artha and moksha. The idea of moksha or liberation held by the monist in the matter of oneness of the living entity and the Lord by ultimate merging in one is also the last stage of materialism or forgetfulness. So the conception of 100% equality of the living being with the Lord is also Nin science. In the field of Nin science, the activities are directed towards the lording it over the creation.
Yeah, so here it is said that normally people understand Varnashrama means the Chatur Dharma, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. But Bhagavatam says Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha is cheating. It is not honest. Why it is cheating? Because it gives the impression of following Dharma, but actually it is implicating you. Why it is implicating you? Because Dharma is simply followed for sense gratification. And then Moksha coming out of frustration is not how Moksha is supposed to come. The idea of moksha is supposed to come out of love, is not supposed to come out of frustration. So the idea of moksha which is coming out of frustration is also cheating, because when it comes out of frustration, you simply want to become God, because you think that by becoming God, I can solve all my problem. But originally you got into problem because you wanted to become God. So that moksha actually takes you to one full circle. You wanted to become God, so therefore you fall into material world. And then you follow this cheating dharma, artha, kama, you get frustrated, and then you want to go to moksha, and there you want to become God. So now how does it work? Because the idea of becoming God brought you here, and to get out, you want to become God again. So that means you have already reached where you reach a starting point. So therefore, Bhagavatam very clearly says that this whole dharma, artha, kama, moksha business is cheating. Very clearly explains. So then what is real dharma? Ahaituki apratihata bhakti has been accepted in Bhagavatam as real dharma, non-cheating dharma. Savaipumsam paro dharmo eto bhaktiradokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasiddhati. Okay, then what is real artha? Jnana and vairagya has been accepted as real artha. Vasudevi bhagavati bhakti yoga prayojitaha janayatyasu vairagyam jnanam chayat ahaitukam. The real facility or the real wealth one can actually earn in this material world is the knowledge about the Supreme Lord and detachment from this material world. This is the real wealth. Jnana and Vairagya is the real wealth, which comes from the practice of pure devotional service. What is real kama? Kamasya hinendriya priti labho jiveta yavata. Jivasya tattva jigyasa nato yechehe karma bihi. the burning desire to re-establish one's constitutional relationship with Krishna, that is real kama. Tatra laulyam api mulyam ekalam. One should have that greed to understand one's real position, one's real relationship with Krishna. That is real kama. What is real moksha? Vadanti tattva vidas tattva jnanavadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti sabdyate. To actually understand Krishna as Bhagavan and to be situated in relationship with him, mukti ritva anyat rupam sarupena vyastiti. Of course, we are going to see now in the last chapter. That is real moksha. So there is cheating dharma, there is cheating artha, there is cheating kama, there is cheating moksha. Cheating dharma is simply doing some pious activity, some pious occupation to earn money. Cheating artha is the money and facility which comes from such piety. Cheating kama is simply sense gratification on the bodily platform. Cheating moksha is getting frustrated with this and then trying to become God. So there is cheating artha, cheating dharma, cheating artha, cheating kama, cheating moksha. There is real dharma, real artha, real kama, real moksha. Okay. So Bhagavatam promotes real dharma, real artha, real kama, real moksha. It rejects the cheating dharma, cheating artha, cheating kama, cheating moksha. Clear? Okay, let's move. Okay, please read.
The Ekpath Vibhuti manifestation of the material energy of the Lord is just like one of the many mistresses of the Lord, by whom the Lord is not so much attracted. But the region of the Tripath Vibhuti, being a pure spiritual manifestation of the energy of the Lord, is, so to speak, more attractive to him. It is very nicely explained herein that he expands himself just like the sun. The sun expands itself by its terrible heat and rays, yet the sun is always aloof from such rays and heat. The impersonalist takes into consideration the rays of the Lord without any information of the tangible, transcendental, eternal form of the Lord, known as Krishna. Therefore, Krishna, in his supreme personal form, with 2 hands and flute, is bewildering for the impersonalists, who can accommodate only the gigantic Vishwaroop of the Lord. They should know that the rays of the sun are secondary to the sun, and similarly, the impersonal, gigantic form of the Lord is also secondary to the personal form as Purushottam.
Yeah, so Prabhupada, of course, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitavis Tabiri Eva Jarupataya Kalavis Goloka Eva Nivasatakilatma Bhuto Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. It's a very, very important verse. All Gaudiya Vaishnavas should actually read the commentary to this verse. If you don't read the commentary to this verse, or whatever it is worth, it is very difficult to call yourself as Gaudiya Vaishnava, because the entire Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy has been very succinctly explained in the commentary to this verse by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But it is tough English, so you have to, if you're not read it before, you should try to keep 1 or 2 dictionaries and then try to read it. And normally it is very difficult to understand the whole purport in one reading. So at least you should read it 4 or 5 times, and you should read it peacefully to understand it. Very, very important verse to actually read for all of us. Everyone should read this. And this is one book, Brahma Samhita is one book. Prabhupada actually authorized his followers to read directly Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's book, directly authorized by Prabhupada. So we should not, we should read that book, at least this verse, commentary. Nice, very good, congratulations. But if you're not read it before, please make sure that you read it. Okay. Now, from 23 onwards, a new section starts. So we didn't read the translation. So please read the translation from 23 onwards. We'll start reading the translation. Okay, please read.
When I was born from the abdominal lotus flower of the Lord, Vishnu, great person, I had no ingredients for sacrificial performances except the bodily limbs of the great personality of Godhead. For performing sacrificial ceremonies, one requires sacrificial ingredients such as flowers, leaves, and straw, along with the sacrificial altar and suitable time, spring. Other necessities include invoking the different names of demigods by specific hymns and vows of
No, there is.
recompense.
No, you have missed one verse. This side. Other requirements are utensils, grains,
Sorry,
clarified
sorry.
butter, honey, gold, earth, water, Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and 4 priests to perform sacrifice.
Sacrifice. Yes.
Okay. Read the other translation.
Other necessities include invoking the different names of demigods by specific hymns and vows of recompense in accordance with the particular scripture for specific purposes and by specific processes. Thus, I had to arrange all these necessary ingredients and paraphernalia of sacrifice from bodily parts of the person. The invocation of the demigod's names, the ultimate goal, Vishnu, was gradually attained. Thus, compensation and ultimate offering were complete. Thus, I created the ingredients and paraphernalia for offering sacrifice out of the parts of the body of Supreme Lord, the enjoyer of the sacrifice, and I performed the sacrifice to satisfy the Lord.
Yeah. So they actually, this is what I was saying, that the Lord himself was given a sacrifice in the first sacrificial offering by Brahma, because Brahma didn't have anybody. So therefore the creation then happened. Okay.
My dear son, thereafter your 9 brothers, who are the masters of living creatures, perform the sacrifice with proper rituals to satisfy both the manifested and non-manifested personalities.
So from 30 onwards, it is actually explained that the whole purpose of creation is simply to satisfy the Supreme Lord. Okay, this is a small section. We'll just read the purpose of this section.
Prabhuji, sorry to disturb you. May I ask a question?
Yeah, please, yeah.
Text number 29, in the translation, it is written, my dear son, thereafter, after your 9 brothers. So I want to know who are the 9 brothers?
Oh, you will read, because there are, Brahma actually created 9 sages from different parts of his body. I don't remember all the names, but it's there in the 3rd canto. The Kratu is one of them. Kardama came from his shadow. Kratu came from his thumb. Narada came from his heart. Marichi came from his mind. So like that, the different sages were actually created from the different contemplations of Brahma. Those are the 9 brothers. It's there in the 3rd canto. In 3rd canto, all the, and from where they came is also there. So probably I'll look up and then I can post it in the next class. I don't remember offhand everybody, but I gave some examples of some of the sages. Like Narada came from Brahma's deliberation in the heart. That's the best. So that's why he is Narada. Then Kratu came from his thumb. Kardama came from his shadow. Marichi came from his mind. So at least 1, 2, 3, 4. I remember 5 more also there. Bhrigu came from somewhere, and like that, each of them came from different parts of Brahma. It's there in the, or you can look up in the third canto also. It's there in the 3rd canto. Okay, please read.
Lord Brahma, the creator of cosmic manifestation, is known as Shambhu, or one who is born without father and mother. For sacrificial performances, many ingredients were in need, especially animals. The animal sacrifice is never meant for killing the animal, for achieving the successful result of the sacrifice. The animal offered the sacrificial fire is, so to speak, destroyed. But the next moment, it is given a new life by dint of the Vedic hymns chanted by expert priest. When such an expert priest is not available, the animal sacrifice in the fire of the sacrificial altar is forbidden. Also, nothing is created out of nothing, but everything is created from the person of the Lord.
This is Prabhupada's joke on the scientist. Nothing is created out of nothing. Prabhupada jokes. Okay, please continue.
The impersonalists argue that there is no use in worshipping the Lord when everything is nothing but the Lord himself. The fruits and flowers are available from the body of this earth, and yet Mother Earth is worshipped by the sensible devotee with ingredients bought from the earth. Similarly, Mother Ganges is worshipped by the water of Ganges, and yet the worshipper enjoys the result of such worship. While the impersonalists wrongly concludes that he is the Lord himself, a great gratitude appreciates the Lord, devotional service perfectly well. Nothing is different from the devotee, therefore, endeavors to apply everything in the service of the Lord, because he knows that everything is the property of the Lord, and no one can claim anything as one's own. This perfect conception of oneness helps the worshipper in being engaged in his loving service, whereas the impersonalist, being falsely puffed up, remains a non-devotee forever without being recognized by the Lord.
Yeah. So therefore, it is our duty to utilize whatever is given. Brahma has shown the way. It's our duty to utilize whatever has been given for the Lord's service. Okay.
One who can offer hota, one who can chant udgata, one who can kindle the sacrificial fire without the aid of separate fire, adhvaryu, and one who can supervise Brahma. But such expert Brahman priests are very rare in this age of corruption and quarrel, and therefore in the present age, only the yajna of chanting the holy name of the Lord is recommended.
Yeah, so this is the system of doing the yajna. There should be some hota, there should be some udgata, there should be some adhvaryu and the Brahma. Brahma knows everything, so he actually supervises the whole arrangement. The hota is the one who actually chants the mantras. Hota is the one who actually makes the offerings to the fire, and the udgata is the one who chants the mantras. He's generally coming from Samaveda. The adhvaryu is the one who is actually making the arrangements of the sacrifice. He is generally coming from the Atharvaveda line. The hota comes from the Rigveda line because he knows how to do the different things. And generally, the Brahma should be a Chaturvedi, means that he has learned all the 4 Vedas. So this is the general system. But you know, this is very difficult to find such people in the modern world. So therefore, best is to do Harinam. So in Mayapur, when we do big yajnas, you can actually find all the 4 of them sitting there. Especially when you do the yajna, the Sudarshan Narsingha Sudarshana Homa Mahahoma before the Narsingha Chaudasi day, you can actually identify these 4 functions. There will be a Udgata who is sitting by the side, and he will be chanting mantras, and he will have some boys who are chanting along with him. There will be a hota. Generally, Bhakti Arja Prithivardhana Maharaj, he acts as the hota, and he will sit in front of the fire, and then he will actually do all the ahutis. Then you will find adhvaryu. There are boys who are in charge of keeping the fire going. They will keep the fire going very nicely, and there will be some Brahma who actually supervises. There's also an acharya, the role of an acharya. There's the 5th person who is actually the visionary, and then who actually decides what kind of yajna to be performed and how it is to be performed, etc. So this is the process, how yajna is performed. When it is performed like that, generally, then it is quite beneficial. But sometimes all the 4 may not be there. Suppose Brahma is not there, then the other 3 can do the function. They can actually have from Dhruva grass, they can make a Brahma and they can keep. Or sometimes the adhvaryu is not there, then the udgata also takes the role of adhvaryu. Sometimes the udgata is also not there, then the hota does everything. So he is one person who will do everything. He will do all the 4 functions. It's possible to do like that also. Okay. So read the next purport.
The whole process of offering sacrifice is under the category of fruitive action, and such activities are extremely scientific. Any such sacrifice undertaken in this age as a matter of show may simply be a cheating process by the clever priestly order, but such a show of sacrifices cannot be effective at any stage. Gross material science cannot divert the real purpose of human life. It can only increase the artificial needs of life without any solution to the problems of life. Therefore, the way of materialistic life leads to the wrong type of human civilization. Since the ultimate aim of life is spiritual realization, the direct way of invoking the holy name of the Lord, as mentioned above, is precisely recommended by Lord Chaitanya, and people of the modern age can easily take advantage of this simple process, which is tenable for the condition of the complicated social structure.
Yeah, so therefore, one should not play with these sacrifices. Even when devotees perform sacrifices, one should not just do some namesake sacrifices. Okay, call some brahmana, light some fire and do some sacrifice. It should not be like that, because the sacrifices are very, very technical things. And you suppose some mantra is chanted wrongly, then there could be some severe reactions for it. There is actually mentioned in one Purana that one brahmana was chanting mantras wrongly. The Agni became very angry. The Agni actually came out and then cursed the brahmana to become a Brahma Rakshasa. So, this whole sacrifice is all a very, very technical thing. Either it should be done nicely, or then just do Harinam and then be happy with it. One should not get into doing sacrifices for namesake, because the mantras are all very powerful. If someone cannot pronounce the mantras properly, then some artificial result can come. We are actually learning some yajna. I'm learning yajna course. Now we are learning yajna, and our teacher, he was actually taking class, and he was actually saying that how in Gurukula, in our Mayapur Gurukula, some of the young boys, they were actually hearing a mantra, which actually means that all the enemies of the sacrifice, they should go to hell. They should go to Yamaloka. They should be sent to Yamaloka. There's a mantra like that. In the process of sacrifice, it is chanted that those who are enemies of this sacrifice, they should go to Yamaloka. Okay. So that in the mantra, the word enemy is actually represented by the Sanskrit word Ripra. Ripra means enemy. These boys actually heard the mantra as Vipra. And then they started chanting Vipra Yamalayam Gachati, Vipra Yamalayam Gachati. Means that all the brahmanas who are doing the sacrifice, they should go to hell. This is what these boys are chanting actually. So just simply chanting the mantra from Ripra to Vipra, it actually gives completely opposite effect. So therefore, one should not play with sacrifices. Okay, I want to do some sacrifice in my house. I feel that, okay, I'm doing some function. Okay, let some fire be there. Let some mantra be there. Let some Brahman be there. Let him chant something and go. I feel mentally satisfied. You may feel mentally satisfied, but you may have done a disservice for yourself. Because if it is not done nicely, then it can have, yajna can be your biggest enemy. So therefore, Prabhupada repeatedly Prabhupada says that in Kali Yuga, better do Harinam. In Kali Yuga, you better do Harinam. Even if you make a mistake, it doesn't matter, because Harinam, Nama Prabhu is very, very merciful. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But at the same time, as the movement grows, it becomes mature. There also should be people who are actually trained to do these sacrifices properly, and they should take some training, and they should train others also nicely. And the best way is to actually get personally trained. No, you can take Bhakti Vaibhava class online, but you cannot take an Yajna class online. It's too technical to take it online. They should come somewhere, they should sit, they should learn, and they should do it properly. Even Bhakti Vaibhava, it's better always Shastra, better personal, But anyway, we are all used to online culture now, so doing some online class. The point is that one should not play with yajna. One should not play with yajna. One should not do yajnas for namesake or for the sake of prestige. or for the sake of mental satisfaction, one should not try to do some yajna. Okay, call some Brahman, give him something, and and the worst kind of yajna can be done by a person who actually takes fixed charge for yajna. This is the worst kind of yajna. I want to do Namakarna ceremony. Oh, my rate for doing Namakarna ceremony is 5,000 rupees. Better you don't do yajna from such person. The moment a Brahmana says that I want this much for doing this karma, he actually becomes Shudra. It is never to be told by a Brahmana that I want this much money for yajna. He cannot fix a rate. For this yajna, this is the rate. For the other yajna, this is the rate. For the other yajna, run away from such person. So therefore, Prabhupada repeatedly Prabhupada is saying, just do Harinam. This is the yajna for this age. Just do Harinam. You want to do any samskara, you don't have a qualified person who can actually properly trained in Satriya Saradipika. You don't find a person to do that who is actually a Brahmana, who will not ask you for a fixed rate. He will come, he will do, and then you have to give him nice dakshina. You will take the dakshina, he will be satisfied, and then he'll go. You don't find a person like that, then better call people, have nice Harinam, distribute prasad, and then do whatever samskara you want to do. The samskara is done. So that is what Prabhupada is saying here, that any sacrifice undertaking is a matter of show and simply cheating. Yes, Priya Mukundapur.
Pranam Prabhuji. So actually, Prabhuji, the question that I wanted to ask, you've just answered that. So my question essentially was, importance of sacrifice being, in the current times, given that the Yoga Dharma that we have now is Harinam. And Prabhupada also emphasized Harinam, how important or how relevant are sacrificial, performances at this particular point of time. And in what circumstances should a devotee actually endeavor to conduct these sacrificial, performances?
Yeah, it's a good question. See, the point is, Dasavidha Samskaras are to be done. Okay, they're not to be avoided. Dasavidha Samskaras are to be done. If you are a Grahastha, then you should do Dasavidha Samskar. Because doing Dasavidha Samskar actually leaves strong positive Krishna conscious mental impressions in the children. Okay, so that is very much recommended for Grahasthas. But having said that, then one should do Dasavidha Samskar with a qualified person. That is very important. Okay, and it is important for the devotees to actually get qualified to do the Dasavidha Samskar as a service to the community. Because Janmana Jayate Shudraha Samskara Dvijaha. By Samskara, a person becomes Dvija. So therefore, Samskara cannot be avoided. It has to be done. So it is incumbent on the devotees, some of them who are Brahmanically inclined, it is incumbent on them to come and get trained properly. And they also train others properly. So that we don't have shortage of Brahmanas who can actually do this type of samskaras. And it is the duty of the Grahastha to actually understand that if you call a Brahmana to do a samskara, then how you should actually treat him. How you should treat him. Like, so many, like this Yajna course is so nice for us, because I am also learning so many things. After so many years, I'm learning so many things. Sometimes, they keep so many fruits around the Yajna. Okay. We think, okay, it is fruits are around the Yajna is over, we can take the fruit and we can eat. But actually the fruits that kept around the Yajna is the property of the Brahmana. So if someone takes the fruit and eats it without the permission of the Brahmana, then it actually amounts to stealing the Brahmana's property. So when you steal a Brahmana's property, then the reaction is very heavy. You may be thinking, oh, the Yajna is there, Yajna is over, now this is there. So we are asking actually that because according to the system of the Yajna, there are 4 kalashas to be kept on 4 corners of the Yajnashala, installing the 4 Vedas with the coconut and kalasha. So we are asking, why are you not doing that? Why are you keeping all the kalashas together? Then our teacher said that they tried to do it in one place, And the devotees actually took away all the coconuts before the yajna is over. They thought it is some sort of Mahaprasad which is kept there, and then they just took the coconuts away. I mean, they are very innocent. They didn't want to steal the coconut, but they're innocent. They don't know. They just took the coconut away. They thought, okay, yajna is over, so let's take it. But they're not supposed to take it. So then if they take it, then they get reaction for it. So why to complicate? Then keep all the things together. So first is that there should be some good education, that what are the Dasavidha Samskara, how it is to be done. This all should become part of Grahastha training. That when a man is getting married, when a woman is getting married, they should be taught that this is Dasavidha Samskara. You should do the Dasavidha Samskara. And when you do the Dasavidha Samskara, somebody is coming to do the Dasavidha Samskara, how to treat that Brahman, what you should do, what you should not do, all these things. Like there's a whole system that when the Dakshina should be given, the Dakshina for the Brahmana should be given within 45 minutes of finishing the yajna. If it is given after 45 minutes, but within 2 hours, 3 times the Dakshina should be given, because late penalty applies. And if it is actually given after 1 day, I think about 100 times more is to be given, something like that. It's like the penalty geometrically, it increases in geometric proportion as you delay the Dakshina. These are all important things one should know. One may innocently think that, okay, what is there now? The devotee has come here, done yajna, we can give Dakshina later. But think like that. You may give 1 rupee or 2 rupee, but you should give it on time. So there's so many things are there. So people should get trained. It's a nice general course for, even if people are not trying to do yajna, people should be trained in the culture of sacrifice, especially Grahasthas. They should be trained in the culture of sacrifice. That's what I realized. I may end up doing the yajna or not, but I learned a lot of things about the culture of sacrifice. So Dasavidha Samskaras are not avoidable. They should be done. If there is a proper qualified person, it is better to do with that person the Dasavidha Samskaras, then it is most beneficial. But if there is no proper qualified person, at least the Dasavidha Samskara should be done by having Harinam, by reading Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Sometime in Bhagavatam, you'll find the relevant portion of the Dasavidha Samskara. Like, for example, if you're doing a naming ceremony, in Bhagavatam, you have the description of naming ceremony of Parikshit Maharaj. So you can actually read that section of the description of the naming ceremony of Parikshit Maharaj. You can have some kirtan, you can distribute prasad, and then you do the naming ceremony. Then still it is okay. The samskara is done by having kirtan, by having prasad, by reading some shastra. Then the samskara is done. So at least that is the least standard for doing it. That standard at least should be followed for doing the samskar. And the safest standard for doing it, the standard should be followed. Or they should find a person who is very qualified, who can come and do the samskar properly. In between things should not be tried. That should not be.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, so we read this. Okay, please read the last one.
They should see through the pages of authentic scriptures and should not simply believe their unqualified eyes. Even in these days, God can also be seen by qualified eyes with the ointment of love of God.
Yeah, so Prabhupada wanted 2 Vyasasans to be put in Lada Rantanishwara temple permanently. Then devotees asked him, why do you want to put this Vyasasan? And Prabhupada said that when the evening Aarti is going on, Narad Muni and Hanuman, they are actually coming to attend the evening Aarti. So he said, when they come, they don't have asan, they are standing. So therefore, you should put 2 Vyasasan for them. So Prabhupada was able to see Narad Muni and Hanuman coming there for the evening Aarti. So Prabhupada made arrangement for them to sit. But others are not able to see. Just because others are not able to see, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Like even in the modern science, there's a qualified pathologist. When the pathologist actually sees the slide, he is able to identify this is bacteria, this is virus, this is normal cell, this is red blood cell, this is white blood cell. Sometimes because I take care of the hospital, sometimes our pathologist shows me some slide. He says, can you please see the slide? I just peer into the microscope, I see the slide. I cannot see anything. I can only see some forms are there, which is of different color, and it all looks like some mess. So I just tell him, okay, what do you want me to see? Then he explains to me, oh, you see this color, this is bacteria. You see this color, this is virus. You see this color, this is normal. So with qualified eyes, you can actually see. With unqualified eyes, you cannot see. Even in the modern material science, it is like that. It's a very simple logic. So those who have qualified eyes, they can actually see. Okay, so from 30 onwards, it starts a different section. We can have 10 minutes break. We start at 4, it's 5:30. You can do your Gayatri, and we can have 10 minutes break. We can come back at 5:43. It's 5:33. We can come back at 5:43. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So from on 30, it is explained that how the Manus and others, they followed and they did the yajna. Brahma explains that, and then from 30 onwards, Brahma starts speaking his realizations about supremacy of the Lord and how the Lord is actually the basis of material creation. So this is what Brahma starts to explain. So that goes all the way up to the last 46 shloka, and 46 shloka becomes the link between the previous chapter and this chapter and the next chapter, where the scheduled incarnations and their specific functions are explained. So the Lord not only is supplying the ingredients of creation, he's supplying the ingredients of creation, then he actually facilitates the creation by creating the demigods and creating Brahma and other demigods. He actually facilitates the creation. These are primordial demigods. I'm not talking about the demigods which Brahma will create. So Brahma actually creates a set of demigods. So that's different. That's in Visarga. We are still talking about the demigods, the Sarga. So he actually creates the demigods, and then he creates Brahma, and then he creates the ingredients of creation, and then he manifests himself as a Virat Purusha, so that actually Brahma can actually understand the different type of living entities, and he can understand the different arrangement of planetary systems. So the Virat Purusha is more or less like the blueprint of the creation. So like an engineer reads a blueprint, and then he actually builds the whole building, or he assembles a whole machine. Same way, the Virat Purusha is the blueprint which the Brahma has. And with that blueprint, he actually does the whole creation. So this is Brahma's. So the Lord actually gives the blueprint for the creation. And the Lord is also the one who is actually to be understood by creation. And not only does he do that, but he also maintains the creation by regularly coming as different incarnations to establish dharma. Whenever there is a discrepancy in dharma, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata, apyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. I come. Dharmasya glanihi. Glanihi means discrepancy. So what is the discrepancy in dharma? Dharma means to actually understand the intrinsic nature of the soul. What is the intrinsic nature of the soul? The intrinsic nature of the soul is that he is actually servant of Krishna. To recognize that is dharma. And that's what the Lord comes to establish. Yada yada dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata, apyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. So he comes to establish dharma, which is the loving devotional service unto him. He comes to establish that, because that's actually the intrinsic quality of the soul. That which cannot be separated from the soul is its dharma. So he comes to establish dharma as different incarnations. And in that way, he also gives opportunity for the conditioned soul to get attracted to him. In third canto, there's one very beautiful verse in the ninth chapter, Brahma's prayers. Of course, in second canto also there's very beautiful Brahma's prayers, very, very, very sweet prayers, which we are going to read actually. In the eighth chapter, in the ninth chapter, we'll read Brahma's prayers. There also Brahma prays in the ninth chapter, in second canto, in third canto also. Tvam bhakti yoga paribhavita hritsaroja asye sutekshita pato nanunata pumsam yadyadhyaya urgaya vibhavayanti taddadvapu pranayase taddanagrahaya. Very beautiful verse. Brahma says, Brahma actually says that how to see the Lord. How to see the Lord? We see the Lord with eyes. Now Brahma says, no, you can't see the Lord through the eyes. You have to actually see the Lord through the ears. Asya sutekshita pata. Sruta ikshita. Ikshita means seeing. But how to see him? By the way of Shruti. Shruta Ikshita, you hear about the Lord and then you see him. So the ear holes actually take the function of the eyes. Asya Sutekshita Pato Nanunata Pumsam. And they're actually thinking that, oh, I want to see my Lord like this. I want to see my Lord like this. I want to see my Lord as Shyamasundara. No. I want to see my Lord as a king, Raja Ram. I want to see him as a king. I don't want to see him as a cowherd boy. I want to see him as a king. Then somebody else says, no, I don't want to see him as a king. I want to see him as a sage. I want to see him very grave. And someone else says, no. I want to see him as someone who is very ferocious. He's very ferocious. And someone says, no, I want to see him as the destroyer of adharma. I want to see God. God means God should destroy adharma. But not that God should simply destroy it. Then someone says, no. I want to actually see him as someone who is like a fish. Because I like fish. Fish is jing, going in water. So I want to see him as a fish. Because people like to watch fish, People have aquariums in their house and they think that, by watching fish, their BP will come down. They keep some aquarium and then they like to watch fish. Like that, people want to watch fish. So they are attracted seeing the Lord as fish. Someone says, no, I want to see the Lord as tortoise. So, Yadyadhya urugaya vibhavayanti taddat vapu pranayasi sadanugrahaya. The Lord actually simply out of costless mercy, he takes that kind of form which attracts the devotee. So he comes and then he establishes that service unto him is supreme dharma. But then someone may say, if you have to serve you, then you have to also be attractive. So then the Lord says, okay, I will come in different forms, just to attract you in different ways. So that you can get attracted to some form and you can just serve me. So this way, the scheduled incarnations with the specific functions is there. That description goes all the way up to the 39th shloka of the next chapter. Yes, Priyamakunda Prabhu, your hand is up. Priyamakunda Prabhu, your hand is up. You want to ask something?
Yes, Prabhuji. So I had a question, Prabhuji, related to the previous one. And if it's, you think this is going to take up time right now, maybe we can take it offline. My question was related to, Nitya Karma and the other duties that you had mentioned earlier in the class.
Yeah.
In the same context, if we don't perform, those relevant duties, then there's a sin that is incurred. In obviously the context of Krishna consciousness in today's day and date, how should one approach those particular duties, and what is to be given importance? And oftentimes, we find ourselves in circumstances that some of those duties, for example, bathing twice, when you're traveling, it becomes obviously, very difficult to bathe twice a day. And other similar, duties, you're not able to fulfill. What should one do in those particular circumstances?
Actually, if you are not able to bath twice, you should take mantra snan. You should take some water and then you should sprinkle on yourself. Om apavitra pavitrava sarvavastam gato piva itsmare pundarikaksham sabhaya bhayantar suchihi. It's called mantra snan. So if you're not able to take bath for a particular time and it's such a situation that you're unable to take bath, just sprinkle a little water on yourself and then chant this mantra, Suchi mantra. Then it's called mantra snan. So that means you actually fulfilled the obligation for taking bath twice. You not miss the obligation. So Shastra is not impractical. That's the first thing. First thing we should understand, that we should understand Shastra is not impractical. Okay, Shastra is very practical. Like Prabhupada actually quotes Shastra and then says that there are different types of snan. There is Sira snan, there is Mala snan, there is Mantra snan. There are different types of snan. Even bathing itself, there are different types of bathing. It's not like there's only one type of bathing. Sira snan means putting water on the head. Mala snan means not wetting the hair, but wetting all the other parts of the body, not wetting the hair on the head. For a woman, generally Mala snan is recommended because she has long hair and every day she cannot put water on her head. For a woman, generally Mala snan is recommended. It is recommended to take Sira snan for a woman on particular occasions when she is coming out of, when her periods is over, she's coming out, then she should actually take Sira snan. If she has union with her husband, the next day morning she should take Sira snan. So there are specific occasions where the woman is recommended to take Sira snan. But otherwise, generally, woman is recommended only to take malasnan because Shastra knows that, the woman daily wets her hair, then she will fall sick. But for a man, every day he should take sirasnan. Because man is not supposed to keep hair. He is supposed to shave his hair. So therefore, every day sirasnan is compulsory for a man. So if you cannot shave your hair, at least you should have short hair. And then you should take sirasnan every day. That's very easy. And for some reason, if you're not able to take sirasnan, then you should take mantrasnan. That by chanting mantras, you can actually take snana. So like that, if you see, for everything, there is a practical way of doing it. Like I said that the grahastha should do Panchamahayajna. Panchamahayajna, nobody even knows what it is. But if we simply do Krishna consciousness properly, like for example, you get up in the morning, you chant your japa nicely and with reasonable volume, you chant your japa. You worship the deities. Read at least one page of Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or something like that. Okay, read at least one page of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Okay, if you do these three things, and if you are regularly contributing for prasadam distribution in the temple, then your Panchamahayajna is done. Because what is Panchamahayajna? Panchamahayajna means Deva Yajna. You should satisfy the demigods. By worshipping deity of Krishna, you are actually satisfying all the demigods. Bhuta Yajna. Bhuta Yajna means you should satisfy all the living entities. By chanting Hare Krishna with loud volume, with reasonable volume, which the living entities can hear around you, you're actually satisfying all the living entities. Then you have to do Shastra Yajna to please the rishis. By reading at least one page of Prabhupada book, you are doing actually Shastra Yajna. And you should do Atiti Yajna, means you should feed the uninvited guest. By contributing for prasadam distribution to the temple, you are doing Atiti Yajna. You should do Pitru Yajna. You should actually fulfill your forefather. You should actually satisfy your forefathers. By simply doing Krishna consciousness, you are satisfying your forefathers. So whether you understand or you don't understand, if we simply follow the system which is given by Prabhupada, you're actually doing your duties properly. But when you don't read one page book also any day, when you don't perform arati to the deity, and when you don't think that I should chant my japa properly, then you fail. Then you fail. So if we are able to do our Krishna conscious program, the basic minimum Krishna conscious program, if you're able to do that, then we are doing all. Okay. So that's what we should understand. So it's not impossible to do it in the age of Kali. It is possible. You can do it, but you should do the basic minimum program. You should not say, like Prabhupada says, Grahastha life means that the family should worship the deity together, the family should have prasadam together, the family should chant together, and the family should read Shastra together. Some minimum you should try to do in this. So when you do that, that means Grahastha life is nice, it's like, is good. So then your obligations of Grahastha life is also met. So therefore, it is not impossible to do Nitya Karma and Naimittika Karma properly simply by following Prabhupada's program. It is possible to do it. Okay. So that's what we are expected to do. If we do that, then things are met. And there are some practical things of Saucham, etc., which you should follow, like, basic things, like in a Grahastha's house, you should not eat in the kitchen. It's all matter of discipline. You should not eat in the kitchen. You should actually keep the kitchen cooking vessel separate, serving vessel separate, eating vessel separate. So cooking vessel should be used for cooking.
Is Prabhuji's connection disrupted or is it only me?
No, Prabhuji.
No, you also cannot hear.
Okay. Yeah, I think some connection issues for Lila.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mary.
Thank you. Manodhar Prabhuji, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. Prabhuji, Prabhu's internet is not working. He has given us assignment. We need to do 3 rooms. And the first group will do verses 30 to 46. They will read, they will make the point, and they will make a point in a term like preaching, personal application, and mood and mission. So they will have to read the verses from 30 to 46. I believe that the last verse is 46 chapter. Am I right?
Mother, your voice is breaking. Can you please, write this message on the chat box?
Okay, okay, I do so. Okay, fine.
We are creating 3 rooms now. And as in the message, we have in the room number 1 going to read 30 to 46. Room number 2 is going to read 1st to 20. And third group is going to read 21st to 49.
It seems something wrong with the third group exercise.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm
21
also,
to 49. It's a lot
I'm
of
also,
verses.
while reading and looking at it, and it looks. You could do.
No, Prabhuji, it is for the next chapter.
Am I audible now? Am I audible now?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
we need to make a presentation, or if you are not able to make a presentation, we can note down the points while reading all these verses. All the devotees will be divided in 3 groups, and we have to do it together. And the points which we have to make, like 3 things, like from the preaching point of view, from our personal application, and third would be the mood and mission. So like this, we have to do right now.
Matari, the verses you have written in the chat box looks wrong. In the third group,
Okay,
you're right.
okay.
21st to 49.
39. It's 39. Can you please help me? I beg forgiveness. I'm out. So can you please tell that how many verses are there in the next chapter? Prabhuji has divided that first group will do the rest of the verses of this chapter, which is going on. Right? First group will do rest of the verses.
Okay.
And the second group
Okay.
will do first 20 verses of next chapter.
Okay. Okay.
And the third group will do 21 to 39. And if you can please let me know that how many verses are there in the next chapter, so I will be in a better position to tell.
In 7th chapter, there are 53 verses.
Okay, next chapter 53 verses. Yes, then please do till 39. 21 to 39. Third group will do 21 to 39. I beg forgiveness, not 49. So now, is
Okay.
everything clear? Or you want me to repeat?
21 to 39 and then 42. Okay.
I repeat, first group of the remaining verses of this chapter. Second group will do first 20 verses of next chapter. Third group will do next chapter 21 from verse 21st to 39. Done?
Okay.
And we can, and I request that please
So-
me also.
No
We
problem.
can take presentation
So,
if we are not making, we are not. Yes, please.
yes, please.
Yes,
Continue.
Prabhuji, please.
Yes, we got your point. Should we start now?
We need to write the points. Yes.
Okay. So, with the broken voices, we could understand that the remaining, the group one need to do the remaining shlokas. I think it is from the 31st till last shloka of this chapter. Right?
Is it only the translation we have to read?
So what I could understand from
No,
this
not
conversation
only
that we
translation. We have to read all the purports. We have to make points.
So that much time.
Not only. Yes, we have time. We have 1 hour's time. 50 minutes are still left. 49 minutes. We have to do it right now.
Okay. So the last shloka is 46. So the group one will read chapter number 6 from shloka number 31 to 46. Group number 2 from chapter 7 from shloka 1 to 20, and group number 3 will read chapter 7 shloka number 21st to 39. So these are the three groups. I'm sorry, I'm just copying it. These are the groups we are going to create, and so randomly I'm just putting everyone in the random groups. Okay.
And we need to point the preaching and the mood and mission or something else also.
Yeah, personal application.
Personal application.
So from the preaching, and then from personal application, and then Prabhupada mood mission. Right? Should we start now? Okay.
Yes.
So the name of the room would be room 1, room 2, room 3. So the room 1 will be group 1, group 2, and group 3. Thank you so much. I'm just putting this in the WhatsApp group also so that we should refer that. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Okay. I'm just putting you into group 3, right? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Are you getting any problem in joining?
Prabhuji, are you not participating?
Somebody is going out, so I'm just, rearranging the people in the group.
Oh, okay. Or you can please join the group. I'm here. If anybody comes out, I'll let you know on WhatsApp. You please join because it's already
Okay, sure.
Now
I'll do
also 40 minutes are there, na?
Yes, I'm going.
Yeah. Daru Krishna Prabhuji, are you here? Daru Krishna Prabhuji, are you here?
रुक्मणी माता जी हरे कृष्णा। मैं कह रहा था कि मेरे को थर्ड ग्रुप में आप एक्सेप्ट कर दीजिए। मैं उसी में अभी नेटवर्क इशू के चलते एग्जिट हो गया था। हरे हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
Hare Krishna.
हाँ, मुझे थर्ड वाले ग्रुप में एक्सेप्ट कर दीजिए।
आप कौन से ग्रुप में थे? आप किस
थर्ड माता जी थर्ड। जी जी थर्ड है।
के आवाज में पीछे कोई शोर आ रहा है बहुत। आप पहले थर्ड में थे, थर्ड से
थर्ड में था तो वो फिर से शिफ्ट कर दीजिए। मैं नेटवर्क इशू के चलते बाहर आ गया था उससे। ठीक है माता जी। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, are you there? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. There. Hare Krishna.
जिंदगी में कुछ नहीं करने के लिए बस यही काम करता है। हरे कृष्णा। जी लिया है काफी समय।
हरे कृष्णा।
प्रभुजी आपने अभी भी है?
वो कह रहे हैं कहीं जाने का कोई रास्ता है ही नहीं, कोई अल्टरनेटिव नहीं माता जी के पास।
एक मिनट माता जी, मैंने पहले ही ज्वाइन करा था, लेकिन मेरा एक्चुअली नेट वो हो गया था, लाइट चली गई थी तो नेट की प्रॉब्लम हो गई थी, तो फिर
कौन से रूम में है आप?
जोरदार करते हैं जल्दी से माता जी मूवी के लिए।
रूम नंबर 1।
इनको सब रहेंगे।
ओके ओके, आई प्लीज वेट।
प्रभु जी आप कौन से ग्रुप में थे?
प्रभु जी मैं फर्स्ट ग्रुप में था, ग्रुप नंबर 1।
सॉरी आपकी आवाज नहीं आई। प्रभु जी कौन से ग्रुप में थे?
प्रभु जी मैं ग्रुप नंबर 1 में था। हेलो, ग्रुप नंबर 1 प्रभु।
ओके प्रभु।
एक्चुअली मेरा नेट लाइट चली गई थी।
जी जी मैं ट्रांसफर कर रहा हूँ।
हाँ
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. Prabhuji, from two groups I have got the reply. What about the third group? Are they still discussing? Because Harila Prabhuji didn't say me to stop the discussion. They said that they want to continue.
They are discussing.
Okay, so can you please be here? Will it be okay?
No, don't
for
worry.
you?
I am here. Don't worry.
Thanks a lot, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Prabhuji, can you make me host? I think I just got disconnected for a minute.
Hare Krishna.
Daru Krishna Prabhuji have become host now. So you can take the
Oh,
host
Krishna.
from him.
Oh, Krishna, Krishna. He is not here. Now, how can we end the meeting, Prabhuji? Because it's all it's live on YouTube. Host has to end the meeting.
Oh,
Okay, call him. I try to call him.
yeah, you call him. If you are the host of the ID, you can retake the host from him if you just click on his ID.
Prabhuji is saying the phone hang हो गया है तो वो लोग कर नहीं सकते बट मैंने उनको बोला मीटिंग एंड करनी होगी जब उनको बोलेंगे
he can leave the meeting. That's all. It will work. If we leave the meeting. Hare Krishna. If you can leave the meeting,
Yes,
it will serve the purpose.
No. If we leave the meeting, no, we will have to end the meeting. Otherwise, it will go live for 8 hours or till next day, and so on YouTube.
So
So we will have to end the meeting.
if he leaves, you or me, myself will become host. If he leaves.
I said him, but he cannot. He's saying my phone is got hanged.
Oh.
I don't know. Oh.
Oh. Do you have the Zoom
So
ID password?
do
you have the Zoom ID password for this account? You can enter into it and end it.
Okay. What about the other groups? The third group is still discussing.
I can't see the groups now.
So all groups are over.
No, I can't see the rooms now because I'm not the
Oh,
host.
okay. Yes, I got it. Right. Oh, you already have come out. So they can just Okay, I just called someone and same to end the meeting because we are not able to see.
Yeah, because from the website we can end this.
Okay.